Well, what do you know? It's another show with you and I doing a little bit of yacht rock today. In the background music. Um, that's kind of one of my guilty pleasures is yacht rock. Now, I have to make a statement though, because I've always known that genre to be called AM Gold. And then the last couple of years, I don't know what the circumstances were, but uh, I started hearing people refer to it as yacht rock. And now there's a what do you call it? A documentary on yacht rock. Um, and there you go. So I guess I'm wrong or something. But like in days gone by, I can remember like commercials for like music of this genre, and they'd say AM Gold. So I just always thought, oh, okay, yeah, it's AM Gold. Anyway, how times have changed. Oh boy. But here we are doing a little bit of art for you, for your viewing pleasure. Um, it's Sunday. It's my day off, my guys. So I am. I'm actually planning on going to see Nosferatu this evening. Just check it out, see how it is. I like the director. The Northman is one of my favorite films. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Um, what else? The Lighthouse is a very trippy film. That's I had a big discussion with one of my filmmaker friends recently about the Lighthouse. It's called the Lighthouse, right? It's not the Watchtower. It's got Willem Dafoe and the Pattison. He played Batman. I forget his first name. Something Pattison. It's the film is in a like a kind of a sepia tone, black and white. It's about these two guys trapped on an island where there's a lighthouse, and there's it's just an extremely weird film, but it's highly aesthetic, and it's kind of a cruel film, though. Especially the ending is extremely horrible, and at the end of the film, you kind of walk out of there feeling sort of drained, like a part of your soul is evaporated or something. It's got a kind of a nihilism to it that I don't know, you just don't normally leave films feeling like that, you know what I'm saying? And, so that's kind of a negative, that's not good. Although there is a dark comedy to it in some sense. Um, Personally, I'm actually not like a dark comedy guy, but, hey, Splattercats here, driving into work, glad to listen, cool beans. Well, it's good to have you listening there, big buddy. 10-4. Working on a Sunday, huh? You're not keeping the Sabbath. Um, but yeah, hey, I actually used to work on Sundays and my shift got moved around. So here I am. Um, anyway, lots to cover. So, Nosferatu. So I have a friend who makes films. It's a young filmmaker, up and coming filmmaker. I actually really want to have him on this show. I'll see if I can convince him to come on sometime. We can talk film or something. Also, super musician. We were just jamming together the other night. A true artist. A true this he's young guy, but he's got a certain kind of wisdom to him that only a born artist would have. It's just an innate. Really, what it is just honesty. It's just raw honesty. And it seems like in this world, it's just so hard to find that anymore. People are kind of, oh, I don't know, pursuing all kinds of different identities. And that's a harsh judgment. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe a better calculation is just that he's highly aesthetically sensitive. That's a good way to put it. So aesthetic sensitivity, I think that is a really, really wonderful attribute, personality trait. Be quite honest with you, there's this girl I met a while ago that has exactly that trait, and I'm like super attracted to her for it. I mean, there's beautiful women all over the world, but how many of them have that kind of raw honesty, that childlike purity, that there's something electric about that I'm very, very attracted to. And it's not like a sexual attraction. It's just you just sort of feel at home with people like that, I think, I do anyway. So anyway, my buddy, he got a film award recently. He's had his film in film festivals around the country. So, he's up and coming, and I respect his opinion. And so he was saying that Nosferatu, it it kind of, the filmmaking's good, the acting's good, eye candy, yada yada, but there's a sort of a degenerate subtext in there, um, that offended him a lot, and you know, and I get that. I'm like that as well. Um, he was essentially saying it's not as good as everybody says that it is. Now, granted, they're always going to be like, the greatest movie of the year, the best horror film ever made, bro. That's it's called marketing. So that's fine. But I don't know. Based on the two films that I saw from the director, I'm game. I'm gonna go check it out, and I think it'll be worth the time. Worth the money or whatever. Um, I hate to say it, but in today's world, you can't really enjoy film without having low standards. That's just brutal thing to say, but sadly, it's true. You know, um, like I learned pretty quickly that being like say a comics guy, going into any of those Marvel films, you have low expectations, dude. Because you're gonna get upset. It's not true to the source material. Okay, it's just not. It's based on the source material, but it's probably too nerdy for most people. Like whatever, whatever. But I don't know. I mean, in a sense, it's kind of you grow up with this stuff, and you feel like it's kind of like your life story in a way, or you know what I mean. Like your biography is sort of entwined with it. And when they cheapen it or falsify it or do something stupid, then you get pissed. I do anyway. Do I need therapy or something? No, I'm kidding. Not for that, man. So moving on. My therapy is house music. I went dancing last night. It's my Saturday night shebang, my Saturday night hoorah. Had myself a good time. And okay, here comes guys. I got a number. Doo-doo-doo. So I ain't bragging, but hey, you know what I'm talking about. um, I'm just kind of in a place where it's like, just relax, just enjoy it. Just I don't know. I mean, she's not. as young as the others, thank God, because like I got to get away from that. But which is helpful because there's obviously like a more maturity and all that stuff, so that's fine. The young ones are fun, but you know, whatever. Um yeah, this girl, like she's one of these like super super fine ladies out on the scene, and women like that almost always have a boyfriend, because they can, you know what I'm saying? And so I guess she's broke up or something because he was with some other girl at the same club, classic douchebag move, Um, and so she was, with her friends, and I'm out on the floor doing my jig, and I can see her coming across the dance floor from the other side of the club. And I couldn't. I had like these kind of cool sunglasses I have. I'm wearing these, and it's dark, the lights, this and that, and I can see there's some girl like heading towards me, and I'm watching and I'm watching, and as she gets closer, I can make out the form. I'm like, oh, it's her. And like I hadn't seen her. Hello, Simon. JJ is here in the chat. My dude. How you doing, man? I know I've been, off YouTube for a long time, so I haven't seen you. But I'm really happy to have you here in the chat with us again. Good to see you, bro. Anyway, so I'm back to my story. Um, so she's coming across the dance floor, and she's got a big smile on her face. And I'm like, okay, something's about to happen here, And yeah, this one's really stuck on there. Holy crow! Oh, bing. So then I see her, and I'm like, oh my god, and we give each other this really warm hug, and I hadn't seen her since the summertime. She personally invited me to some club at the last time I had seen her, and I forget what the circumstances were. I couldn't make it or something. But that was a kind of a nice green light, you know what I'm saying? Um, and then so now she's like, going out of her way to come see me, give me a hug. And I'm like, oh my God, it's been so long. But I'm telling you, dude, the hug was like, there's different kind of hugs. You know what I mean? There's like, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" Hug, that kind of like, you know. And then there's like the hug where they wrap around you like a wet towel, and they just, kind of like suck all your energy out, and it's a lot of like you just feel like immense love. It's just such a loving feeling. It's so sweet. And oh man, I just was just in the moment, that I'm still really thinking about that and how amazing that felt, And like she's trying to introduce me to her friends and stuff, which I think is also a pretty good sign, actually. And they don't know me, so she sort of describes me as like fun time guy, fun time guy. Donald Kent, fun time guy, out on the scene. I mean, because like when I go out, that's my time to escape everything. I'm as shitty and crazy and fucked up as life is as like insanely fun I am when I go dancing. Like I'm just, you know, off the charts, which is fun. It's a cool thing, It's like I'm basically doing and acting in a way that everybody else wants. They're like, yeah, man, I wish I could just let go and have a good time. I'm like, well, that's what I'm going to do, damn it. And you can just take my hand into happy land. Let's go. So she's like, yeah, he's a fun time, fun time guy. So whatever. Anyway, that was beautiful. And, a bit later, do this and that. I'm like, so what's your Instagram? Um, so we're on to phase two. And I would have asked her that much, much earlier had I like run into her sometime, but it was just weird that I hadn't seen her since summer. Um, oh man, she's beautiful, dude. She's like, well, you know, actually, she's out of my league. I'll just be honest with you. Um, but I think I don't know. Certain people just vibe with like I don't know. Like I said, it's like if you can just let go and not be like self-conscious and not like, oh, I'm trying to put on a show or whatever, then people feel that, I think, and they vibe with it. They're like, hey, that's a good guy right there. I want to be around that person. So I don't know. I don't know where it'll go. Um, but it's gonna go somewhere. I'm sure of that. So I went from Nosferatu to that. That was a quick jump. Um, anyway, I guess you guys can go with the flow, right? All right, so I believe this page is done. Let's see. Off the charts dancing is something I'll never be. Well, it's funny because my filmmaking buddy, he wants to come, you know, and he's not like a dance scene guy. He's more like a go see bands guy. You know what I mean? How are the pictures? Um, and he's like, well, how do you dance? And I'm like, dude. And he's like, oh, I'm not a good dancer. I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's like it's not about being a good dancer. It's about having fun. You're again, look at the orientation there. You're not there to impress anybody. You're there to have a good time. You get my point? I'm way too reserved, unfortunately. Well, that's fine. I mean, you do you, you know. Um, and now for our next yacht rock hit. I love yacht rocks. That's another thing. Like that's a time in music when I guess I feel like people were more innocent. That the times were more innocent, and it's reflected in the music. Very like romantic on a borderline goofiness. Not goofy. That's kind of cruel to say, but like I don't know. There's just a certain innocence to it that I vibe with. I'll put it that way. So it kind of plays into, hey, my channel, DK Art is live. It's happening. What's going on, big guy? How's everything? Nice to have you here. Excuse me. Just back in the saddle here, getting some work done. I did get the message or the okay that I'm going to be starting back on my freelance comic job. We're in a holding pattern at the moment, just getting the website polished up, and I'm going to be commissioned to do some more character designs. I don't have like the character sheets are like handy at the moment, but there's like I was saying, there's something like over 50 characters that I designed for uh, that world, if you will. Really fun stuff. It's kind of overwhelming. It's like too much to even say at one time. But so, for example, there's a character called the Deep State, and his the symbol on his shirt or his whatever his uniform costume whatever is the is based on the FBI symbol. It's like there's a type of a star in there. Um, There's just lots of stuff like that, and he's the deep state. So he's like a water superhero, like a kind of like a who is Aquaman's villain? He's got that big helmet on. He has like a black uniform. His name is slipping my mind right now, but deep meaning like deep underwater, that kind of. That's the play on words there. So that'll be cool to get back to. And then I think really we're gonna wrap that up. This should be it. This should be the last of the chapters for that. Um, and then we can finally launch the book, and then I can become a millionaire. Woohoo! It's gonna be steak and lobster every day, baby. And I own my own dance club. Um, so yeah. Hmm. Anyway, what else do I have to tell you? 100% for me. Oh, 10% for me. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Um, so yeah, um, let's talk UFOs. You guys ready? Okay, so um, what did I see? I saw a clip recently. A dude was talking about. Uh, oh, there's a fancy word for it, and of course I don't remember. It's like a new type of a word, ontological crisis, or something like that. Ontological crisis, and that is that essentially the black ops programs, they can't control the narrative. There's a lot of fake UFOs, Project Blue Book, that kind of shit going on out there, and the truth of it is essentially that they're trying to sort of slowly, reveal the truth, because when the total truth of all of that stuff comes out, there will be a kind of ontological crisis, a crisis of what's real, if you want to put it that way. Um, there'll be a lot of, especially in the world of religion, and I've been, studying religion since I was an early teen, so that's not like scary to me. Um, but people are very deeply invested in certain views and stuff, and I think that they're, especially in like the Book of Enoch, people who are religious can kind of lean on those documents to help them understand things, if you will. That might be helpful when that time comes. But any kind of belief system, whether it's scientific, or religious, or even ideological and political. Project Bruce blew something, right? Um, anyway, anyway, so what I'm saying, any kind of belief system is, in effect, a limitation on your mind. So you say, "Oh, so I know this, I believe this, and I don't know this," and blah blah blah. That the range of what can be known. And so if you have a certain belief system, and you got whatever data or whatever reason to believe the things that you believe, that's all good and well. But what it does is it closes the file on a thing. It's like, okay, I this is what I believe about X, and close the file, tuck it away, all done. Whereas when new data comes out, and or you know something's going on that challenges your views, if you're attached to the file, so to speak, then your mind is closed and you cannot, you can't accept new information. Um, that's a problem. That's a problem. So I think people who are religious are going to have to do some serious thinking in terms of like, what does this mean in the context of my belief system? And look at the word belief system, a system. It's a connection of ideas and data points that connect in a system, and everything is referential to everything else within the system. Something like a software, maybe, if you kind of look at it that way. So there's going to be some challenges, but I think that's where I'll stop. Um, I need to set aside some time to create like a little cheat sheet of names, because I find myself often talking about things on my shows and I can't remember the name of the dude that I'm trying to reference. Mainly because half of my brain is focused on drawing right now. I'm kind of like riding a unicycle and juggling at the same time here. So give me a break, man. Stephen Greer. Ha! See, I'm not as dumb as I look. So Stephen Greer is well known guy, one of the oldest dudes in the disclosure world, if you will. Do you guys know Stephen Greer? I would expect some of you would. He's kind of a odd-looking guy. He's a doctor. He's just somehow or other been involved in this for a long time. I think he's sincere. I've like Brendan O'Connell is very insulting to him, but Brendan O'Connell, as much as I appreciate him and respect him, I see as a bit of an egomaniac. He's kind of, it's like that notion of like, well, if I didn't say it first, or I'm the authority on everything. I'm always right about everything. That kind of mentality. I feel it's a very anti-scientific way of being, if you understand my point. Like, I always feel like ego is one of the biggest red flags whenever I'm listening to anybody who does anything, any kind of news channels or whatever. So he had some not so nice things to say about Stephen Greer, but whatever. Um, so what is that? Why did I even say that? What was the point of that? So Stephen Greer is saying like this whole situation with the drones is happening because you know disclosure's coming, and the if you want to call it the black ops, deep state, hidden government, whatever, they they're trying to run damage controls, if you will, where they're creating like fake UFO sightings and such to uh, you know run interference, basically. You know what I'm saying? So how that plays out, we'll see. But somehow or other, Stephen Greer has access to, like, he's actually been into several underground bases and or known people who have quit these positions because they see like the human experimentation that they're doing, among many other things. And some of it, they say, is like too dark to even talk about, because and I'm like, ugh, it's now that doesn't shock me, you know. Um, but we'll see how that goes. A lot of human trafficking connected to it. It's not a good thing. Um, but I mean, like human trafficking for human experimentation. That's pretty dark shit. And here they are. there's this understanding in the UFO world that there was some sort of agreement with the U.S. government and the Greys that, if you give us access to your technology, then we'll allow you to abduct citizens. And then I don't see how the U.S. government would have any kind of like leverage over Greys, or whatever. But somehow or other they did, and they were able to do this or create this contract agreement, whatever. Anyway, maybe we should talk about yacht rock. That's a little more palatable. Maybe I'll turn this tune up a little tiny bit. Get the vibe going. Oh yeah. When I listen to this music, I feel like it's summertime by the pool. It's kind of the flow I get off that. The bass line, of course, is really cool. And Boz Scaggs, Low Down. He was really unique if you think about, like, I don't know, just like music in the 70s. It's kind of Steely Dan-ish, Um, sort of like a rock jazz fusion-ish. Not jazz, but like funk soul rock fusion, something like that. Jones for that. This running with the Jones. Just ain't what it's at. Oh, shit. Dirty Brown. Ooh, I wonder what you do. Oh man, so cool, so smooth. Oh, on top of that, I was at the club last night. I was hanging out with one of my DJ friends, and turns out he's like a musician, and he's been in bands for years. He's in some kind of a cover band thing right now, and he's sort of like a new friend, not this newish friend, whatever, just like a dude that I met over the summer, and really, really slick guy, really cool dude. And once I saw that, he's in bands or whatever, I'm like, well, it's looking like we're gonna have to get together, do some jamming. Maybe I'll get my film buddy and him together and see what we can do. I'm interested in jamming with DJs. I think that is an interesting thing, an interesting vibe. So currently there are 8 people watching, but there's only been like 3 people in the chat. So it would really be neato if the others could say a quick hi, just so I can kind of see, like who is in the house, who's in his house. Or I don't know if it's like FBI Agent Smith or you know John Doe X. I don't know. I tell you, man, I must have. Oh, this is a great song. Holy cow! Talk about ego. I must be so important to think that the FBI has time to sit around listening to these streams. Oh, megalomaniac. Maybe you should do like karaoke in this show. Just like me singing to these songs. I'm like in the mood to do some karaoke soon. Just It's like, oh, I gotta find a girl that likes yacht rock so I can like be like cheesy romantic, with her. Oh, yeah, man, just like vocal jamming. Simon, this girl you mentioned, Donald, is she neutral or is she red pilled? Well, um, I don't know her that well yet, so I can't actually answer that. She's a city girl. She's very, um, I don't know how to, I don't know how to phrase this, but there's something just very natural about her. Now, she's very, very pretty, so I think girls that are just, naturally supermodel pretty, they kind of start off, you know, where like everybody gives them what they want, and it's not like the best environment in a sense to kind of evolve. Fine art is here. Hey, I'm new. Cool beans, my bro. Um, while I answer the question, I'm going to give fine art a little show of fine art since you got an awesome name. Okay, so hang tight. I just gonna move stuff around. I might turn this music down because this song's goofy. Um, da, 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 da. Have you seen this fine art? This is my book. It's called Imperium Calling. So, is this girl red pilled? And I'm gonna say no. I don't think she's like political at all. Um, I just, she's just like wholesome in a way. Um, she's not liberal in the normal sense of the word, if you know what I'm saying. Like even though she's like a city girl and she's very pretty, she doesn't have that kind of snobby liberal type persona, if that makes sense. Um, I don't even, I mean, it's just super hard to find red pilled girls, to be honest. They're like only on the internet. They're like unicorns. Um, what do you think of these fine art? These are samples of some work from my book. Um, I'm not even looking to. That's good. She's neutral, wholesome girl. Yeah, yeah. That's about it. And like, I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be very, very, very rare to find a girl that has my political views. That'd be like a gift from God, basically. But I've shown us a lot of this work on my shows before. Um, so really and I mean, it's just sort of too early to even know, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we're just, we definitely have a vibe. We have a kind of attraction for each other. And, if this thing were to grow, that'd be beautiful. Um, she's not young like the other ones because it's just a 20 something uh, culture, the club scene, whatever. But she's not old. So we'll see how it goes. I don't Give them your political views. Yeah, straight out of the gate. Well, I did share my Instagram with her, and that's spicy, spicy, spicy. So she will see. She will eventually see it. I'm like, why the fuck would I hide that? Like if I want to actually, have some form of friendship with a person, I don't want to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm not gonna fucking do that. That's absurd. My channel. He says yes. That okay. Da, da, da. I don't. It's funny, when you're approaching politics with like, frankly, girls that you're meeting or whatever. What I do is I'll generally, because a lot of times girls will ask me, "What's your Instagram?" And I'll say, before I tell them my Instagram, I'll be like, "Well, I don't know. It's really spicy. Like I'm warning you. I'm warning you. I don't know if you're gonna want it. I really don't think you're gonna want it." And that makes them want it even more. They're like, "Oh, a dangerous man. It's so stimulating." But then, once they see the type of stuff that I post, it's like trial by fire. If you can make it this far, if you can make it through the gauntlet of my Instagram or whatever, then it looks like we're gonna, you know, somehow have something, a friendship of some kind. My channel says, no, I mean, they come around to your political views. Oh, that's not a primary dynamic for females. No, 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 you're very right. That's a good point. So I think I've really given way too much of this book away here, but I should be marketing this book more though. Yes, they will conform to your beliefs eventually. That's generally how women work. Do 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 do. Any feminists in the audience that would like to challenge that? Raise your hand now. No, no. All right, let's get back to the action. So, different types of art satisfies different kinds of moods and feelings, and you know things that I want to do. Um, excuse me. And comics is clearly about storytelling. Um, I'm just a frustrated filmmaker. That's all I am. You know. And people tend to compartmentalize artists. They like, you just do this one thing, over and over and over. And I'm like, that is absurd. Like, why in the hell would I do that? Um, I think there is a reason why artists would do that, and that's to make money. That their agent or their niche audience wants that one thing that they do, and they want to do it. That's what they pay for. Which is fine. It's a thing. Um, I guess if I were making a living off of making, you know, uh, doggy portraits or some shit like that, I might just keep doing it because it's easy money. But I wouldn't be fulfilled by that. Um, and I have had people like, "Oh, can you do a portrait of my puppy? And she's so cute." I'm like, I don't do that kind of shit. Go find some idiot to do that for you. I will do caricatures, which are fun, and I don't think that they're stupid or low or I mean, I guess you could, in New York, in the art world, they might say that's low art. It's low art for the plebeians. But so how I look at it is, it's like it's a customized cartoon portrait of you, your family, your girlfriend, or whatever, or maybe like a sports star or somebody that you like, a rock star, whatever. Mostly, the main thing though is having your own portrait like that. You can't buy that in a store. That's what I always tell people. You can't go to the store and get one. So you have to have it commissioned by a caricature artist. and that's one of the skills that I have that I can do, and it's fun, and people will hang that up somewhere, commemorate a birthday or I've worked a lot of weddings. Oh, dude, that's fun, bro. It's like $150 an hour, and then for the entire uh, wedding banquet, which could be like 4 hours or more, you're just drawing literally nonstop. Like every single person at the banquet will get one, and it's hard work. It's that's I mean, 150 an hour is pretty sweet, and you rock hard for however that, the 4 hours or the 5 hours. You better have enough equipment. Your hand is going to be killing you by the end of the day, the end of the night. But the other bonus is that you meet all these like cute girls because you know how it is. Come on, come on. You know how it is. They'll be like women at weddings have that kind of like I need a man hunger look in their eyes, where it's like, oh, when am I going to get married to? This is my big female mythology thing. Yeah, it's funny. I know. And then you're sitting down for a few minutes with them, just gazing in their eyes and getting to know them while you're drawing them and flirting like a crazy madman. And then you show them the picture and oh, I love it. So that's fun. Anyway, I there you go. I should do like a Donald Kent how to riz girls, how to flirt show. That could make a lot of money doing that. What the hell am I thinking? Oh my god. More money sounds ideal. It's a blast. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, moving on. How to flirt with girls at wedding banquets by Donald Kent. Good fun, good fun. What else can we talk about? What do you guys want me to talk about? What would you like to talk about? Don doesn't flirt, he just breaks out the gat. um yeah, you don't like flirting is I think a really like I don't know if unconscious is the word for this, but like it's like an autopilot of some kind, where you're you're in the zone, you're with some fun girl that is receptive to it. Obviously, it's just a want to be flirted with, flirt with, whatever. And you feed into it. It's a fun thing you feed into. Um, and you kind of bounce it back and forth as she's like you know playing with you, playing along with you, or whatever. Then you just kind of just make it more fun. It's really just fun, actually. It's kind of being goofy, having fun. Um, so that is your first lesson right there. Just have fun with it. Maybe we should talk more serious things. Elon Musk. Oh man, he is running damage control like crazy right now. Ugh, it's disgusting. Girlfriends have said I flirt continuously. I'm not aware of it. Being polite to people is flirting, apparently. It's such a weird dynamic out there. I get what you mean. Yeah. Do you tell them you're a poor, happy artist? Chicks dig that. Are you kidding me? The tragic artist? That's like, they want to be the subject of my paintings. They're like, oh, can I be your muse? I'll be immortalized in art. Yeah, they love that. Actually, some girls do like that. All kidding aside. Let's see. A poor happy artist. You're really touching on some interesting ideas here, to be honest. Because, like, you know, happiness. What is to an artist? What is happiness? And is it, does money depend on it? And those da da da. And I would say that, like, for an artist, money is freedom to make art. Money is freedom to be who you are. And so, money itself is neutral in this regard. But unfortunately, the world is structured in such a way whereas, it's you're designed to be pretty much a slave, a tax slave. It's set up to be, you know, for you to be poor, basically. Um, Now, maybe that's a falsehood. Maybe that's not entirely true. Um, However, I could make a case for it. um, Manifest your dreams with Donald Kent. All you got to do is, let's see, they want to be a part of that happiness. They're pretty girls and can get whatever material thing they want. Okay, so excuse me. This is you're opening up something really interesting here. And I did talk about this on another show. I don't know if I deleted that show. I've been deleting shows recently, but so I'm at this place that I go shopping fairly regularly, and there's, of course, another real cute girl there, and I've been kind of vibing with her. I flirt with her when I go in there and do my shopping, but it's like friendly, fun flirt, and she likes it, and she's always happy to see me, and it's just a nice little, fun little thing. So I go in the other day, and I gotta buy some stamps, and I'm like, part of the flirting is like, oh well, you help me decide what stamps I want, just to engage her, and turn it into something fun. I always figure, like, you're on your job and your job sucks, it's boring, so let's goof around a little bit. So she's like, oh, you have to take these, they're more beautiful, and I'm like, oh well, I'm an artist, I know all about beauty. And she goes, no, you're not. So I'm like, okay, here it comes, and then I just like Hulk out. No, no. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Look, I'll show you my phone. I got all these pictures in my phone. So sure enough, I go through, all kinds of works of art that I've got on my phone camera. And she's like, wow. And, some of them were portraits. And she says, I would love to have, I don't know how she phrases it. I'd love to have my portrait or have you do my portrait. And I was like, right there, I just popped. I was like, oh, you're gorgeous. I would love to draw you. So, I mean, to say straight out, you're gorgeous, is pretty much setting a certain tone there. And then she's like, I'll pay you. So like once when they do say that, then they're serious. Like they actually, she wants to actually commission me. So I'm like, oh, you don't have to pay me. I simped out. I simped out. Oh guys, can you ever forgive me? Anyway, so I'm like, oh, you're gorgeous. I would love to draw you, and I'll just give it to you. You can kind of see where this is going. So next thing you know, this and that, I get her phone number, and we're texting each other and just kind of having fun. And she's like, well, let's wait for the holidays to be over. I'm kind of busy right now, but yada yada yada. So that's fun. So I guess holidays are over, guys. Guys, it's time to Bust a move. Bust a move. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's it's nice to have your portrait done. Anybody can take a picture. You know, like it's you get the idea. So, um, I'm kind of in the zone of like, well, where do I want to do this? Like at my place or at let's like say a library. You know what I mean? Like in like a public place that's a little safer. For her. You get the idea. It's they don't move too fast on this thing. So we're texting and she's talking about stuff that's just basically very flirty. She's just establishing that, she's available. So like she's already getting down to that. Like we're already there. You know what I mean? Um so I'm just gonna try to play my cards right a little bit here and feel it out. Again, she's too young. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep it's getting annoying, to be honest. It's like I only meet young women. When I say young, I mean they're like, you know, too young for me, I guess. I don't know. But like a friend of mine was saying, well, it's a kink, they like older men. It's a kink. And I'm like, okay, and it's like a new word for me. I don't, whatever, you get the idea. So what are we talking about in the chat here? Keyword is happy and I don't give a fuck. Right. They want to be a part of that happiness. They're pretty, yes, I read that. My channel says facilitate their happiness as you do. Stop trying to provide material wealth. Believe me, that's not the goal here. Believe me. Um, yeah, this is the conundrum is like, women my age are either married or divorced, um, and the divorcees tend to be very bitter. Um, it kind of I've done those like sort of online dating sites, that shit, whatever, which I hate. And the dates that I've been on, they go like really well, and then they don't get back to me, and I'm like, if it didn't work, it didn't work. That's fine, but like to say you want to keep going and then ghost me is just fucking stupid. Like why would you do that? I don't know. I'm just disillusioned. I'm very like I don't have any sense that I should invest myself into that online dating thing. I don't. I don't. It just hasn't proven to be, you know, to work. Frankly. Meanwhile, there's like freaking, you know, hordes of young women that are fun and free and want to flirt and hang out and stuff. And it's kind of sad though because it's like it's not going to work, but this is the only thing that seems to be available right now. And it's kind of tragic, if you think about it. Oh, more tragedy. I'm freaking swimming in it. My channel says I'm saying for all those young guys tripping up. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's correct. There's tons of like great material out for young men these days regarding relationships. There's lots and lots of really good resources. Um, Again, I don't know the guy's name, but this is some dude that shows up a lot in my algorithm on Instagram. And in one of his little clips, he said something to the effect of like, "You are a utility to her survival." That's in the context of him talking about, a certain topic, a theme. And he points that out, and just the term, look at the language there. You are a utility to her survival. You're a utility. I mean, just I can't stop saying that. Like, like it's what could be more dehumanizing than I am a utility? It's just you get what I'm saying? The feeling of that is so low, it's just so like fuck, you know. And, I've got friends that are, going through breakups and dealing with bullshit in their relationships, and they call me like, "Hey, what should I do?" So I chat, this and that, something, something. Um, and I remember these things, like, this concept of like, you are a utility to her survival. And I can see that the behavior that their girlfriends have fits this narrative exactly. And to sort of step back and not have so much judgment about it, it is a biological reality. It just is. You know what I'm saying? It just is. And so you kind of have to not personalize it so much, I think. Um that's all. That's all there is to say. 11 inches in the next 24 hours. I really don't know if I want to understand what that means. Uh, my channel, you're going to have to DM that to me. DM what to you? The clip that I was just talking about? What else? Mm, So, because it's like I don't want to do the like hating on women thing. I don't think that's constructive. I'm not a groiper, you know. I think that's one of Nick Fuentes' worst, like, what's the word? Your public image, your branding, or whatever. Like hating women, dude. Grow up, man. Fucking kiss a girl for fuck's sake. Like that's just not good optics, dude. You know, I get it. I do. I get it. I know the behaviors are frustrating, and there's a lot of bad ones out there. But like he needs a few years. You know what I mean? Winter Storm, are you living in a cave? I'm not catching your meaning on that. I don't know. You guys follow Nick Fuentes? I have him in my algorithm regularly, and I'm not throwing shade on him or whatever. I think he does important work. Um, he represents a certain demographic of angry young men, who need representation. Um, Finally getting the edge of the storm that anyone on the states is aware of that's dumping snow. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I heard about that. That's probably going to hit me soonish. I don't know. I'd have to look at the news to get a sense of that. But how bad is the snowstorm where you are? Is it like super bad, or what's the score? I hate the song. It changes. Um, Shut up. Sorry for the dead air time here. Oh, that's another dumb song. Why? No kind of. All right, moving on. Onward and upward, folks. I Gotta Rock and Roll Hard by Eric Clapton. That's a good one. It's not a song you hear very often, and it's like a really um, pretty good Clapton tune. I think a lot of young guitarists don't know that back in like 70s, 80s, people used to say like, "Clapton is God, man. He's the." It's like he's the best guitar player ever, man. I'm like, why would you even say that? It's so silly. Clapton's okay. I like the cream version of Eric Clapton. That's my zone. Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. You're getting 11 inches in 24 hours. 11 inches of snow. I needed context. Oh, right, Miami. Unless it's, oh, yeah, yeah. I live in Miami, right? Unless it's a hurricane, don't bother, Don. Okay. That's a lot of snow. Yeah, we had like 3 feet a couple weeks ago. And where I work, I have to do like a good bit of driving, which I hate, but I can't really avoid it. Yeah, so that's that. I probably shouldn't talk about my work. You know, when you're a professional hitman, you got a lot of. Oh, I mean, when you're work for a bakery and deliver bread, you have to drive a lot. So. All right, let's get some disco going on here. Oh, oh yeah. Why do I always have to say that? I don't know. You guys can't see what I'm doing. Let me back out a little bit here. Love you inside. The Bee Gees. Never asked, like, what does BG mean? Like, is that a thing or something? I like the falsetto. I think that's kind of cool. Like, people don't really do that anymore, I don't think. Like, the whole band is based on falsetto. That's crazy. I'm not happy with that. Let's see. Bee Gees are great. Yes, word. Don drives the balloon bread truck. That's me. Brothers Gibb. Ooh, there you go. Yells, white bread as he pulls up. Oh my god, dude. Dude, you should. Oh, you're funny, dude. You crack me up, man. White bread. Blow. Um, what's the phrase they're using? Resist, reserve something. There's like a meme for the corporate CEO shooter where it's like I can't remember. It's like 3 or 4 words that there's like some dude near where I live that has a flag with that hanging outside his house. I'm like, wow, that's bold, you know. Only people who follow the news and know, of course, the whole story of the corporate shooter thing are going to know what what that refers to. But Bee Gees, Bee Gees means Brothers Gibb. Oh, how cool. Okay, that I didn't get. I didn't know that. BG, right? Brothers Gibb. Oh, how neat. Oh, that's great. Cool beans, man. Well, I screwed up on the inking, and I'm gonna have to like. What I'll do is in Photoshop, I'll import like a little American flag, and I'll like squish it right onto that. And that'll fix that. Um, mm, Doing this kind of drawing is, because you got to use like a little. I don't know. It's not like the easy fun stuff. It's harder. So I think I'll move around to a little more fun stuff here. Luigi. The girls love Luigi. Oh God, I know that. So my belief is that the actual shooter is still out there. and that this Luigi guy is just your classic fall guy. Again, it's like, oh, don't worry, the government's got it under control. That bullshit. The narrative is what you're trying to control. But I don't know. I don't know if there'll be like copycats or what. But meanwhile, you've got the terrorist guy who drives through a marketplace full of people, and you got this other wackadoo shit with the car bomb and the Trump Tower. You know, I don't even really spend time anymore in like researching those type of things because it's just, oh yeah, another psyop. Oh no, okay, that's today's psyop. Okay, it's just like the weather report. You know what I mean? Um, let's see. All these events recently so messed up completely. How many proposals did he have? Oh, that's a good question. Um, even though he's a fall guy, like he's been memed into being like a hero. I don't know. Hmm. So what's next? One thing I'm a little frustrated with is that I can't. I haven't been able to do sparring in a long time, and like I need to try to figure out how to get back into that. Um, I I don't know if I broke or sprained my finger sparring over this summer. Last summer, it's probably more like a break because there was a loud cracking noise when I blocked a kick, and then it was like my finger was screwed for the whole summer. It was just I couldn't fully bend my fingers and stuff or whatever, so I couldn't reasonably spar. I mean, I could spar if I wanted to fuck it up more, and be an idiot. But don't be a pussy. Keep sparring. Fuck up your hand for the rest of your life. Don't be a pussy. Anyway, so but like I'm ready to get back into that. Um I was watching a friend. He's a martial arts teacher, and I was hanging out at this space and watching him teach and stuff, and just checking out his students and the whole system, this and that. And I did ask him. I said, would your students be into sparring? And he said, not like how you do it. And he didn't mean anything like, and he wasn't trying to be insulting or something by that. But it just got right back to that old conundrum of like, how do you spar, and what's what's the most effective way to do it that you can improve your skills. And then there's just people that don't believe in doing that. It's just all or nothing. Oh, I saw a really interesting thing. Who was it? I think it was Chuck Norris. It was one of these interviews about. Oh no, not Chuck Norris. I don't know the guy's name. He's like a semi-famous like B-level actor in Hollywood. Big martial arts boxing type sort of dude. Um, he was in Batman. There's a scene where the Joker comes in and he's talking to all of the gangsters about, you know, pay me to kill the Batman, and then you guys can, go back to doing your gangster business. And then there's one black dude there who's like the head of a gang, and he's like, you're a freak. We're gonna kill the freak, whatever. So like, if you know that scene, that's the actor I'm talking about. And I give this guy credit. I've seen him talk about martial arts techniques and stuff, and as much as I don't like his like egocentric behavior, I'll certainly give him credit where credit's due. But he was talking about how in the early days of MMA, it got to the point where if you wanted to be in MMA, you had to first go to the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu school and like fight one of the Jiu-Jitsu brothers there, the Gracie boys, whatever. And if they could not beat you, then you weren't allowed to get onto MMA show, whatever the fuck it's called. And that it basically means it's rigged, for them to win, you see. And how did that happen? How did it get to be like that? I don't know. It's anybody's guess. You could probably think it through, like it's a way of making money. And it turned out that, like the Gracies became like the thing that everybody wanted to see. And so they somehow monopolized it, Um, it's very gangster to do that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, um, but that always struck me as like that's the beginning of the falsehood of the notion that like jujitsu is the best martial art, and all that kind of shit. Um, and I don't want to go down that road again about talking about jujitsu. I'm not against it, and it's great for what it is. You know what I mean? But when I found that out, it was really like a vindicated moment for me. I was like, I've been telling people like, that's fine, but it is better for the ring than for the street. Well, I caught a lot of hell for that. I was this guy. Everybody kicking me. You can't say that. That's what happens when you say the truth. Yeah. What else is up here in the chat? Aruni, we got answer some questions here. You broke your middle finger. Yeah, not I forget what finger was it. It was actually my ring finger, this finger. Yeah. So I could still be social. This is called the social finger, just so you know. But it was the ring finger. Evening, troops. Hey, Chief Moody is here. Holy crow. Break out the red carpet. Chief Moody is here, my man. Good to see you, bro. Um, yes, Donald Kent is trying to get himself back onto doing shows. Um, I've been, in a lot of transition, a lot of stuff going on and this and that, but I do have a pretty huge project that I am looking into starting. And it's the type of thing that everyone in our sphere, people who do legitimate shows like you, would, I think, be interested in promoting. And I'll talk to you privately about that when I get a chance. But, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to, when you get a chance, click on Chief Moody's icon there, go to his YouTube, and subscribe for quality content. Chief had me on his show. Gosh, I don't know. It's a long time ago now. I don't know when it was. And we just talked about the culture, arts in our sphere, but then other things, it's always interesting to kind of compare notes on what's happening in the US compared to what's happening in the UK. Uh, Chief is part of the Mark Collette sphere of patriotic alternative. Am I correct in saying that? I think I'm correct in saying that. An excellent, it is not new, but I guess newish. Chief, you spoke at the Mark Colette's. It's like a convention of some kind. I don't know what it calls it, but I think it's like once a year he'll hold these conventions where people can come and speak. Um, and so, like, if you get a chance to see Chief's speech at that event, you can look up Patriotic Alternative for that. Um, yeah, it's there's a lot going on all the time. Things are just going on and going on. This song's a little silly, so I'll move forward from that. I probably should get the hard rock tunes on. You guys have any requests? Who wants a banana? The great white ape is here. All right, we're in the. What do I look like? Living in a zoo here. The great white ape is here, ladies and gentlemen, bringing back the primal spirit. It's Sunday, and I am having a little fun time stream here with some artwork and basically doing artwork so that I don't have to do the adulting stuff that I have to get around to. Did you ever do that? It's like, I'm not in the mood to run errands on my day off. Like, can I just have a day off for frickin's sake? Like, please, just one day off. And by a day off, I mean, like, do some cleaning around the house or whatever, but do something enjoyable. So I'm like I was talking about earlier, I'm gonna go to see Nosferatu this evening. Okay, I'll let you in on something. I might have a little lady join me. It's not a date, it's just seeing a movie. But she doesn't know if she's free, so I don't know if that'll go down or not. I'm still gonna go see the film though. Talk, talk, talk. Let's great right. Dynamite Donald. Yes, sir. Yes, that is my superhero name, Dynamite Donald. Gosh, I should pull up some Dynamite Thor artwork right there. I feel like this is what it actually looked like in real life. I don't even really hide that anymore on social media, so it's not really. I don't know. I just don't feel like I have to. Um, I've already been doxxed. I don't care. I'm just like, if I were someone who was really engaged in, like, I don't know, more frankly, like, more dangerous activity of some kind, where I was like doing like Patriot Front type stuff, where I'm out, you know, that kind of stuff. So, like, but I don't. I make art. It's okay. I do have some kind of cool things coming down the pipeline as far as like activism. Um, but it's still internet based. Well, not actually. That's not true. Um, you'll see. You'll see when the time comes. Don't worry. Um, and the type I've put like so much thought into figuring out like what is the effective method of activism for our movement that's legal and nonviolent. you know because like that won't those that's the realm I operate in. And I figured it out, so I'm excited to launch this project. I gotta set up a website and a Substack, and I got I suppose maybe I'll do that or get on that maybe after the show. Just kind of basically had to do like a lot of like research and development on the topic. And then there's this enormous, oh boy, huge, huge community of people that would be involved in the physical aspect of the activism. And so I'm very excited about it. I'm really teasing it out by talking it. I don't know if I should even talk about it right now, but because I'm the guy who like talks about stuff and then, oh shit, I got, you know, life threw me a curveball and now I can't do that thing or something. I don't want to be that. I've done it too much already. So what else? What else? Hello by CP Webster. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's one of my dudes that comes to check out the shows. I want to say hello to you. Hello, Chief Moody. Been listening whilst editing my stories. Very good. Sitting on my stoop, listening to the eternal Welsh rain. Hey, tell us about your story that you're working on, Webster. Are you still doing publishing with Dave Martell? Anything going on with the Archives? Um, I'm on Dave's Telegram, but I just don't interact super much. I don't know. There's like so many Telegram groups out there, and you know, I guess to me, how I use Telegram is definitely social, but it's just another news gathering kind of platform, and it's not just news gathering. I'll talk with like extremely intelligent friends that have all kinds of information, in some cases insider information, and they give their kind of hot takes on this, that, and the next thing, and just various perspectives. I can have like really really intelligent conversation, and sure, there's a lot of shit lordy type memes and extremely spicy gifs and videos and things that you'd get kicked off of social media for posting anywhere else. But these are private. This is a private group, so it's not like not. You get the idea. What else? But yeah, man, I'd like to hear about your story. I'd also love to visit Wales. That would be cool. Hmm. So we're doing like a yacht rock vibe today on the music. It's kind of nice, fun, innocent music. So I hope that Nosferatu doesn't disappoint. I think I'm getting a little burned out on Willem Dafoe. You know, Webster says yes, still working with Dave Martell since we got Berserkheim 7 out. Wow, man. We have a long list of new books in the pipeline: Sword and Sorcery, Noir, Weird Fiction, and another issue of Biz Archives. Awesome sauce. I just looked at the clock. I've got about 15 minutes before I have to wrap it up. I have something I've got to do before I go out. But that's good to hear, man. Dave is a hero. I love Dave. I love Dave. And, I don't know. I mean, like, frankly, I got paid to do the artwork that I did, and I don't know what his budget is these days with his situation, but I'd be into doing more work for the Bizarre Archives. That'd be cool. Hmm. Mhm. Hmm. I really want to do more shows with Chief Moody. I just think Chief is just a fabulous guy, and I like to be in touch with the UK, what's going on over there. Um, I did the patriotic Patriarch show a while ago. I could actually get back to that with Paul Patriarch as well. Um, yeah, it's just nice. I mean, it feels good. I want to go to England, like in the worst way. I just want to. I don't know. I feel like I belong there. Um, yeah, I'm a single dad and all that stuff, so I'm kind of doing that. That's a thing. But if I were in my 20s, maybe I would do that. What's crazy is that when I was in college, I applied for it was called an independent study, where I would have gone to Germany and studied, what's it called? German expressionist art from the kind of, you know, sort of the period between World War One and World War Two, and I was going to do an art history uh, summer program type thing, in Germany. And I had the whole thing planned out. I had, sponsorship, but the damn school wouldn't pay for it. They were like, "Nope, this we don't find this valid. We're not paying for it." And I'm like, now I think I wonder if there was a certain political bias or something. I don't know, but because God forbid anybody, express the suffering of the German people, because that they're the bad guys. Can't give them any attention. Can't do any kind of art history about their experience in World War II. No, but I ended up going to Japan instead. Um, I was also deeply interested in Zen Buddhism at the time as well, so it was good in that regard. But I often think, had I gone to Germany instead of Japan, like how different my life would be. Obviously, I'm sure I would have studied some German. Um, Shit, man, I could have gotten married and settled down in Europe or something. Who knows? Um, I would love to, I don't know if there's such a thing as like a magic mirror you could look in and see, like, this is what your life would have been had you gone there, like a totally different destiny. Webster says Chief Moody is great. I've met him a couple times. He's a good lad. Yeah, man. Very cool. JJ says there is political bias in everything. True. The Great Ape says, history. Do art history was your teacher have a small black mustache under his mouth? Here's the flippy thing. That particular art history teacher that was helping sponsor me was a gay Jew. So go figure. I don't, like I know that's against the narrative here or whatever. Um, I mean, you know, what do you expect in like art history department? It's not. But whatever. I mean, I can't explain any of that or whatever. It is what it is. I'm grateful that you know he was supportive. He tried to help me do that. Um, so there it is, and there you go. Um, Moving on. You had no chance, right? Okay, Hippocratic oath is here, but you repeat yourself. Shalom, Agent of listening in. Shalom. I don't do an Israeli accent. I need to figure that out. That's got to be a part of my repertoire. What the heck am I doing here? Um, Nobody makes fun of the chosen people. You can't do that. Um, How are we doing on time? I got a little bit of time. A little bit of time left. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty excited about going to see Nosferatu. Haven't really picked a showtime yet, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a thing that my filmmaking friend kind of criticizes is how like sometimes a film can have such great eye candy, it can be so aesthetically beautiful that you don't really criticize it in terms of like what is the story here? Is this telling a story or is it just fluff? You know what I mean? Is it just eye candy? Is it just what I mean? Beautiful sets and mysterious lighting and powerful performances and that kind of stuff. Whereas like, okay, what is the story? What are you saying in this story? And so that's what he was criticizing about the film is it's like it's way too sexualized according to him. um I guess modern audiences, everything has to be sexualized. Anyway, um I feel like there's enough there, you know what I mean, like this is a great director, great cast, uh remake of Nosferatu. There's enough worth going to see it. um I can kind of give you guys a review later sometime. So yes, yacht rock is a guilty pleasure of mine. I assume you guys can hear the music in the background here. AMC is apparently doing well. Hippocratic Oath says Nosferatu is about a small hat, right? Uh, Film mackerel. I don't know what film mackerel is. Um, I think the I'm gonna say yes and no in the sense that the theme of it, I believe, is yes. Um, but like, is it explicitly so? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, I doubt it. I doubt it. If somehow or other they show that. So who's the dude? Bela Lugosi. Okay, one of the most famous original Dracula actors. If you see him playing Dracula in the film, and you look very closely, he's wearing a really tiny Star of David necklace. So I don't know. I don't think the actor was Small Hat, but the character is in that film, and that's Dracula, though. I mean, that's not called Nosferatu, so I don't know. You can figure that out. There was a Nosferatu. It was sort of like a dark humor version. It was the making of Nosferatu with uh, Willem Dafoe as Nosferatu. It had John Malkovich as the director, and it's a kind of a fun, quirky film. Like I recommend it. Um, but it's funny that Dafoe's in this as well. But as I was saying a little earlier, I'm kind of getting like Defoe fatigue. Because he's always Willem Dafoe. Like I don't know. I just getting a little tired of the brand of it, I suppose. That's a good song. I sure hope my lady friend can attend. Have to see if she can make it. Oh, so yeah, there's another gal that I flirt with, and I wanted to scope out and see if she wanted to see Nosferatu. So we were chatting, and she said that she saw the Bob Dylan biopic with fuck's his name, the star of Dune, Timothy Chalamet, who's another Jew, and this girl doesn't know. She doesn't know me and my political views. So when she was like, "Oh, I saw this. It's so good. You got to see it. Let's go see it and tell me what you think, and we'll talk about it." And I'm like, "This you couldn't pay me to see that. I'm not gonna fucking see that film. You know." Anyway, hope you guys don't mind the yacht rock theme today. Nostradamus is a film. I don't know. What's the time where you are, Donald? And well, that's a sort of a, I know that you know, my face is out there and stuff, but if I give away my time, it's a little too specific as to location. I think you get what I mean by that. So I can't really, I don't really want to say, if you don't mind. I'm on the East Coast. I'll say that. All right, what do we got here? Oh, yes, sorry, gotcha. That's fine. All right. I do think I'm going to have to wrap this up, guys, though. I appreciate your coming. I don't, I always worry like these shows are kind of boring or something, and I don't know, if I should jazz them up somehow, like tell dirty jokes or something. I don't know, but I appreciate your comment. It's great to hang in. I think it's a kind of fun friend time. Um, People seem to enjoy watching me draw, so that's its own thing, I guess. Um, but I'm always open for suggestions. So, and on that note, I think I shall call it an adieu. Type D in the chat if it's boring. Yeah, or better yet, give me recommendations on how to make it not boring. All right, friends, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming. It's really, really cool to spend some time with you guys as always. And as the Terminator says, I'll be back. Soothing is what I'd call it. Oh, that's nice. Cool. Yeah, it's good, laid back Sunday afternoon snowstorm streaming. All right. God bless, guys. I love you. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.